Yo, happy Halloween month, man. And you just made it to the Haunted Basement Studio. And I'm your host, Triple B. And in this episode, in this comic book review, we're going to do Armageddon Vampirella issue number 3 right here. Man, Vampirella is in hell and she's gotten swallowed by a giant earthworm named Leviathan in hell. Now, can she crawl her way out of that stomach? Can she find maybe an ally down in there? There's only one way to find out. Let's go ahead and review and talk about Vampirella Armageddon, issue number 3 from Dynamite Entertainment. And this is review 2 of 3 of this Halloween month of 2025. First, we did the Halloween special. We did it last month. I'll leave it in the description down below and come back next week where we're going to do the Christopher Priest run of Vampirella. But let's get started right now with Armageddon, baby. So Vampirella is in the stomach of the hellworm as she's trying to dig her way through the guts and the intestines to get out of there. All of a sudden she hears, "Vampirella, is that you? There's no way, I must be hallucinating. Why would she be in hell?" And then Vampirella looks up and says, "Yes, I am here." "Well, what are you doing here in the stomach of the hellworm?" And she says, "Well, that's the same question I've been asking myself. And I do believe I know this creature from the past, but it was much smaller then. And it was held by a man that was cursed with immortality." And then she hears, "Yes, a man called Walker. I was the beast master until the mistress Nyx came along and made the beast swallow me whole." And Vampirella looks at him and says, "Well, you must have been in the beast belly for a very long time." And he says, "What's your excuse? Why are you here in hell?" And Vampirella says to him, "Well, there are refugees getting taken from Earth, getting transported to hell. And as I got here, I realized that there is a war going on in hell. So I think it might even be something that I know how it started. So I am here to stop it." And then Walker looks at her and says, "Well, if you can get us both out of this belly, maybe I will help you with this war, because especially war in hell is very dangerous." And now we cut back to Earth where the refugees are getting recruited by some shape-shifting coyotes. But right at that time, our freaking werewolf and their other characters on Earth that are trying to find Vampirella crash the freaking party. And as the coyotes transform into coyotes and the wolf, they fight each other. The other female character that's on Vampirella's side, her body's like a weapon, and one of the coyotes like tries to bite her or something, and then like it's acid and then she just blows up. And at this time the evil priest is made a transportal where he walks through as he's watching all this carnage of coyotes and werewolves and freaking body part woman can just freaking take him down. He's like, "Oh no, I don't want any part of this." As he turns around and walks back through his teleporter, the main guy grabs him and says, "No, I'm not done with you yet," and throws him on the ground and says, "We have some questions." And now back at the belly of the worm, Walker is telling Vampirella how he became immortal. He said back in the time when God first created Earth, he was so envious of his brother that he grabbed a rock and smashed it on his brother's head, and he knew he was doomed once he heard the crack of his brother's skull. And then all of a sudden the creator says, "What have you done?" And then he curses him because he was the first murderer here on Earth that God created. And so now he has to walk through time without ever being able to die. And through his walks and travels, he found other evil creatures, and that's how he defined the hellworm. And both of them worked as a team. But then all of a sudden the mistress Nyx came to town and made the worm swallow me whole. And then he says, I've been waiting for the opportunity to finally get redemption. And Vampirella looks at him and says, I will not disappoint you, but I need to break free from all the stomach intestines. I need some substance, but it is sucking the life out of me. And then she grabs another body that's right next to her in the stomach and bites down on it and sucks the remaining blood out of this corpse. And she gets the strength and the power to break through all the tentacles. And then she goes and grabs Walker and then pulls him away from the stomach's intestines. And now, as Vampirella is carrying Walker over her shoulder in this enormous stomach of this worm, she is saying, oh my God, stars and circles, how the hell are we going to get out of here? And Walker says, let's just find the way to the heart. And as all of a sudden a big old roar comes over them, she's like, what is that noise? And Walker says, the beast, the worm, knows that there is something wrong in the stomach. And then all of a sudden, the beast unleashes a bunch of bodies, but they are just husks, nothing in them. But they have to fight them off. As Vampirella is fighting them off left and right, Walker is crawling away, and she says, get away, Walker, get out of the beast any way you can. As Vampirella is taking down these monsters left and right. And now we go to Pandemonium, the capital city of hell, where they always strive for something better, always looking for the opportunity to rise. And from the warlocks to the high priest, this is how it's always been done. But Ethan Strode always wanted something more. Is he the warlock that's walking around here in this capital city? We'll have to figure this one out. So let's see what's going on here in Pandemonium. But there was always a creature that would defeat him over and over again, and that was Vampirella. And so, as he is looking into a mirror with all these evil creatures, all these evil demons, he hears a voice saying that, Vampirella, you're thinking of her after all the times that she has defeated you. Vampirella is in hell. And he's like, Vampirella cannot be here in hell. If she is, we need to find her because she will stop our propaganda of war and my ascension back to Earth. And so I am going to call out to all over hell. And we know hell is a huge place, but we need to find Vampirella and bring her to me. And if anybody does that, they are definitely going to be in good terms with the future king of hell. But right then and there, he just messed up because the Druid, they got banished. They got defeated from the realm a long time ago because it was their time to rule hell. And now with this beacon out there for Vampirella, the Druid is going to unleash the goddess of Armageddon. End of chapter 3. Oh yeah, dude, we got the goddess of Armageddon. Maybe that's why we're called. This series is called Vampirella Armageddon. Man, what a great story. I love it. Issue number 3 definitely leaves us on a cliffhanger. They're building up all these characters that are getting ready to clash. We got the group on Earth trying to find Vampirella. We got Vampirella trying to get out of this hell worm with Walker, the immortal one, and they're gonna definitely break out of this damn worm. It's been 2 issues. Come on, we got to get her out of the worm. And we're seeing all the other characters around it getting built up because now you got like this freaking warlock that is running the capital city of hell. And, you know, it even says the Dark Priest. So the Dark Priest is the one that's transporting all of these refugees from Earth to hell so they can fight this new war that Ethan freaking is trying to put on hell. They have this big old war. And I believe like maybe when this war is happening, he's going to ascend back to Earth. He's going to go back up to Earth, transport back to Earth. Crazy freaking story, man. The art in it is amazing. We're just going to go ahead and we'll give it a good old 9. A solid 9 out of 10. Story is a 10 out of 10. Tom Sniegoski is absolutely crushing it. And Where'd it go? It's right here. Of course, we got the Matatina cover, which is great right there. The art was a Kerber Ball right there. Yeah. Kerber Ball is the artist, and Omni, what? Ramina Jr. colorist right there. So probably said that totally wrong, but yeah, this is a great freaking story. Man, Tom Sniegoski been writing Vampirella for like 30 plus years right now. So tell me all what you all think about Vampirella Armageddon. And remember, next week we got the Christopher Priest's new run, and we are on, where is it at right here? Number 5, right there, Vampirella, with the legacy run of 680. That's coming out next week. And that'll be our 3-parter, 3 Vampirella reviews in October, month of Halloween, spooky season, baby. All right, man. Triple B's out of the Haunted Basement Studio. Like and subscribe to the channel only if you want to. And I want you guys to remember one thing. You keep it haunted. Comics. Later.